Hey, welcome back to ISS. I'm with Sachin Natu. He's VP of Product Management here at Ivanti. And you just gave a session, and a very interesting one to me, by the way, moving from VPN to SSE. So what were the takeaways? What kind of reaction did you get to your session?
I think the takeaways are very straightforward, right? One is, industry is going through the migration. Right? They're going from old paradigm of VPN into a new paradigm of zero trust. But while everybody knows the destination, the path to destination is very, very hard, right? Because the old option was very easy. A user comes in, authenticates, gets into the network. What else can go wrong, right? But now in the new threat landscape, that just doesn't work. So what is the new landscape? Hey, you need to know the device that you are connecting to. The user needs to do the entire level of authentication, not just one single password. It has to do the MFA. You have to connect only to the app, right? So a lot of things are changing, and that migration is very, very difficult. And what we are providing, being a vendor, premier vendor of VPN, is that simple migration. Right? So almost think you need to go to the Everest. We are your Sherpas to take you from your home to the Mount Everest with our technology at your speed.
I'm glad you brought up that whole shifting of the threat environment, because it shifts on a dime, right? It happens all the time. So what are you telling folks, what are you telling companies to do to adapt to that, right? Because you have to be as fluid as the landscape is, right?
So the first and foremost, right, you need to know what applications are running on your network, right? And so, very simple thing, right? You cannot protect what you do not know, right? Talking about a home, the first thing that you put in is a home security camera, even before you go and put a security system. Why? Because you need to know what's happening. So similar thing for our solution. You have an existing VPN, hook that up with a cloud controller so that you know everything that is going on your network. Every application, every user, pretty much every IP traffic flow. And once you know that, you know, hey, these are my critical application. I want to migrate to the new world. You just select what applications you want to migrate, and that's it. I mean, you can do this migration live with our solution. So the first thing what we tell them, just know what's going on your network by hooking up your VPN to the cloud controller.
I mean, it sounds simple, right? That visibility, you know, there's no way you're going to be able to shift to a changing landscape unless you can actually see that landscape, right?
You cannot protect something that you don't know.
Right. Something I want to talk about your presentation, you pulled out a number from the 2023 Tails Data Threat Report. 55% of the companies who suffered data breaches in the prior year chalked those primarily to human error, which is interesting to me. So when we talk about zero trust adoption, what is that number? How does that number relate to zero trust?
Again, right, human error comes from multiple sides. Let's just talk there are lots of humans involved in the entire network, right? All the way from the end users who are actually using the system, right? For example, an end user has a mobile, they go to a phishing site inadvertently, and then download some application which is malicious. How do you know that? You need to know first you need to scan what is running on your device. You need to make sure that the device is protected, right? And so again, right, the human did something wrong, but the system essentially protected it. Systems figured out that there is something fishy running on your device, and I'm stopping that. Right? So that's first level. The second one, humans get spear phished. Right? They get an email, and then again something fancy, something is downloaded onto your device, and you start to get data that you're not supposed to get. You need to watch what the data is. Right? So how do you integrate the DLP in your solution so that you stop wrongful use of data? And the other aspects of human is really the system and the network administrators who are running the system. What if they do a wrong configuration? How do you protect against that? Right? So this is where if you have a single console which watches over your entire network and make sure there is no configuration drift, there is no configuration error, there is no wrong policies, there are no inconsistent policies. Right? So this is how the system has to take care of, eliminate pretty much every human error, whether it's from the end user or from the administrator.
That's what I would call proactive visibility.
That's right.
Right? Yeah, seeing the problems before they become problems.
So
let's talk about that migration. What does an ideal migration look like from VPN to SSE? And what should organizations prioritize as they start taking those steps?
So again, right, ideal migration for us is really simple two-step migration. Right? First, know what's running on your network. Right? What does that mean? Take your existing VPN gateway, attach it to the controller, and it's really a one-click adoption. You attach your gateways as they are, attach it to the controller, and know everything that is running on your network. Right? You get the entire inventory out there. Number two, figure out what are the top applications that you need to migrate to the ZTA, and just select those applications, attach them with the right device profile, with the right user profile, and the right gateway or the connector where this application is, and you can do that one-click migration from VPN to ZTA. And again, people typically have tens of thousands of applications running on their network. A lot of times they don't even know what those are. And we don't expect everybody will migrate those 10,000 applications on day one. But with our solution, essentially, we are giving people a gift of time. Figure out what are your top applications that you want to migrate, what is your first wave, what is your second wave, what is your third wave. And while you are doing this, whether it's VPN or the ZTA gateways, you are totally covered because that cloud watches over the entire solution.
Yeah, it's that home security idea that you had, just basically that easy. But again, I go back to this word, visibility, right?
Yes.
You can't really understand the challenges in the threat landscape unless you can actually see that landscape.
That's correct.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you, Sachin. Appreciate it. I'm sure you've had a lot of great conversations about your session. Hopefully those conversations will continue here at ISS.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks for your time, and have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.